It's the Last Stand Podcast.
Are you feeling run down? Do you need a natural way to boost your immune system? The all-natural B1 patch from USA Natural may be just what you're looking for. Professional athletes use it, and you can too. Just peel and stick, and within 30 minutes feel the natural boost of energy, stamina, and endurance. Visit buyb1.com and enter the code BC3 for a discount on every order. Wear what the pros wear, the all-natural B1 patch.
And here's your host, Brian Custer.
That's right. Last Stand Podcast. I am Brian Custer, and on this episode today, we're talking the sport of boxing. And as you can see, it has fought its way back from this pandemic. There have been some fights, one in Nicaragua, by the way, where it was just the fighters, the referee, the judges. They even sprayed the fighters before they began the fight with a disinfectant. No crowds at all, and that's what you've seen here coming forward as boxing tried to make its way back. Some with sparse, very, very sparse crowds, others with no crowds at all. And joining me on the show, the guest today is pound for pound, one of the best fighters in the world. He is the unified champ, the IBF, the WBC Welterweight champion of the world. He's known as the Truth. Errol Spence Jr. joins me here on the Last Stand Podcast. EJ, how you doing, my brother?
Man, doing good. Hanging in there, just training, staying focused, been running. And spending a lot of time with my kids actually in the other room asleep right now. So been a lot of downtime, being slow, but, we've been picking up the training, and me and Derrick James just, staying focused, keeping the weight down, getting the weight down, and, ready to box with the sports world to open back up so I can get back in the ring.
Talk to me about this pandemic. Was there anybody in your family that came down with it? How did you avoid, coming down with the virus?
With me, I've been just staying away from people. Like, it's just been training with Derrick. That's about it. And coming home and just spending time with my kids and just watching TV and just staying away from everybody. I can't tell you the last time I seen my friends. There's only one friend I've seen, and he, comes to the gym with me and things like that. But as far as, I think my auntie done had it, and she stays here in Dallas, and she's a nurse. She done had it, and then in New York, I have a lot of family in New York, and some of my cousins done had it too, but I done had any deaths in the family or nothing like that due to the coronavirus. So, that's been a blessing in itself. But as far as myself, I just been staying away from everybody and just basically just staying to myself.
And considering, I would think, as you have recovered from your car accident, it was probably even more so. This was the last thing you wanted to contract. So I would think you were probably even extra cautious, correct?
Oh, definitely super cautious. But during this downtime, it really just picked the training. Like Derrick told me, it was like, there's really nothing going on right now. You probably gonna fight around October, November, or whenever the boxing keeps back up. So we're just gonna focus on, keeping your weight down, getting it down, and focus on just getting stronger and just prepare yourself mentally to get back in the swing of things. So for me, it helped me a lot. This going on right now, but I wish it never happened because I got a lot of family in New York that's been going through a lot of stuff. And my grandma, she's actually 96 years old. She just had a birthday like 2 weeks ago, and the family are doing a great job of standing away from her. And the only person that really sees her is my uncle, and he takes a shower and takes off the clothes that he wore inside the house, to go downstairs to see her and things like that. So they got to take extra precautions with her to make sure, she doesn't get it, because it preys on the sick, so and the elderly too. So, that's the last thing we would want, for her to catch this.
What do you think that all of this downtime is going to do for fighters when they come back? Will we see fighters rusty, or do you think we'll see a better level of competition because guys have been off for so long? They're going to want to come back with a vengeance and just get at it. What do you think it's going to do for the sport?
I think it's really all on the fighters. you know, just like a training camp. It's all on the fighters, and it's really like a training camp. I mean, in training camp, you can't do nothing really but train, sleep, and watch TV. So, you know, for me, this has been just like a training camp, and you know, I would tell all the fighters to, you know, just stay focused, keep training, and if you can't train at home, shadow box, get a bag, go running and things like that, just to stay on top of your game. Because when it opens back up, I mean, you know, people gonna be hungry, man. A lot of guys are hungry. A lot of guys, you know, don't get paid as much as I get paid or much as top athletes. So a lot of them, you know, before this pandemic been going on, they've been just, you know, nickel and diming and, you know, basically scraping the bottom of the bucket. So, you know, they really, you know, want it now, and they really been focused and been training and stuff like that. So a lot of them on edge right now and can't wait to box and pick back up. So, you know, I know it's a lot of hungry guys out there, and I'm hungry to get back at it. You know, I got a lot of naysayers and people that don't think I'm going to come back, you know, like I used to, but I'm going to come back even better than I was. I think, you know, I'm extremely focused now. My weight's been down. I'm in the 60s right now, and my goal is to get it to like 57 and just sit on 157. So just 10 pounds below my weight, and, you know, and just stay ready for when my name is called.
Yeah, you said that when you have some naysayers and they don't think that you'll be coming back like you used to, but you said you'll be back better. Why? Tell me why. Why will we see a better version of Errol Spence Jr.?
I think because the focus is there. The focus is definitely there, and you know, it's just I got a lot to prove. You know, before I had a lot to prove before the Kell Brook fight. You know, people was already crowning me saying I'm the next guy, I'm the next, you know, champion or the next top dude or the guy that's gonna run the sport after Floyd Mayweather and stuff like that. But you know, now there's been a lot of people, you know, saying, "Oh, he's not gonna come back the same," or that car accident messed him up, or you know, he can't come back 100%, and you know, that puts a lot of gas in my tank, you know, and you know, just prepare me to come back, you know, 100% ready, 100% focused. And like I said, I've been training, I've been running, I think you texted me yesterday and I was running, you know, you called me yesterday and I was running. Like, I've just been 100% focused and ready, and just, you know, ready to put on a spectacular performance. It's just everybody who's been doubting me, because I've been looking at all the little YouTube videos and and stuff like that where, you know, people have been doubting me, and, you know, just add fuel to the tank, man. Just keeps me hungry and just keeps me focused and keep my eye on the ball.
So you were talking about you've been training and things like that. Can you look back on the calendar? Tell me, when was the first, what month was it where you felt like, okay, I'm fully recovered and I'm running and I'm working out and I feel no pain, no nothing? When was that?
That was in, it was either January or February, probably January. But when I first got out the hospital, it was kind of funny. My mom was telling me not to do it. When I first got out the hospital, I had walked up the stairs because my training apartment is like 23 floors up. So I was limping and everything. And I got out my wheelchair, and I would walk up the whole 23 floors to get to my high rise, and you know, my mom had to follow me up. She had to follow me up behind me, and she was out of breath. But that was like the first time that I was just trying to test myself out, test my body out. But you know, I was hurt for a while, probably until like January or February, where, you know, I was able to come to the gym without, you know, any pain in my arms or any pain in my hip and things like that. So, you know, then after that, I just stayed at it, kept running, staying at it, and stretching out a lot. You know, I had to make sure, because back before that, I didn't stretch at all. Now I'm stretching every day, and stretching before runs, and stretching before I go work out, and, you know, basically adding that to my regimen.
That's great. So take me back then to last October, because I remember when I got the phone call, I was like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, what do you remember? I mean, you got in the car. Did you hit a curb? Did you hit a wheel? What happened that night?
I don't remember nothing, Mike.
Wow.
That whole day, got wiped from my memory. Like I don't remember nothing.
Wow.
I don't remember being in the hospital. Like I was in the hospital for 2 weeks and I don't even remember being in the hospital. I don't remember even being at home. I was at home probably when I got off the drugs from what the hospital gave me, when I really just started kicking in and the pain started kicking in too. And then I just started remembering everything. I was like, take me back to the hospital. Like I'm in pain, I need some more drugs. Like that's when I really just started remembering everything. But man, the way that car looked, and then
Yeah.
like, I didn't watch the YouTube videos at all of my accident, probably like a month going into it. I didn't watch nothing. I was like,
That was my next question, because when you saw the crash video, what came to your mind?
I was just like, wow. Like, I kept replaying it and trying to put it in slow-mo and just kept watching. I was like, man, like, it's crazy. It was just, I was just like, man, that was, there's nothing but God, there's nothing I could do to just nothing but God and great genetics not to break any bones. That was just nothing but God that, I didn't, because even the doctor couldn't believe it. Like, I didn't break any bones or any fractures or anything. Like, it was nothing wrong with me. It was stuff I was just banged up, like extra bruised up. And my face was messed up, like my eye was swollen, and I got some teeth knocked out and things like that. So, but as far as like anything just like messed up, like broken or any lacerations or things like that, I didn't have at all.
Well, you hear the reports of like you being thrown like 80 feet in the air from that car. And a lot of people say because you weren't wearing your seatbelt that night, it probably saved your life, that you might have died had you had your seatbelt on, only because of the way the car flipped over and things of that nature. When you look back on that, the biggest lesson that you took from that and from that night and the whole experience?
The big lesson I took from the night is, basically, don't take things for granted. And listen to your parents too. Cause my mom, for some reason, my mom would call me that night. She had told me, and my dad told me too. My mom was calling me that night too, and just, asked me what I'm doing and things like that. Just said she was worried about me, things like that. And actually, a dude had walked up to me and said that his dad had prayed for me that night too. Had like prayed for me and blessed me that night or whatever, things like that. So it just, I think, don't take things for granted. I think, at that time I was taking a lot of things for granted and, slacking on my training and, basically not as focused as, as I used to be and stuff like that. So, for me, it was just, get back on the ball. Am I going to heed that warning? Because that was a warning. Because that should have been fatal. And for me, even when I was in the hospital, things like that, I said, sorry to my kids and stuff like that, because I would lead them out here to defend for themselves, and now we took it for this world. A lot of people, would feel that, like my mother, my father, and my kids, and my sibling and stuff like that. So for me, it was like, are you gonna heed this warning? So it's definitely a warning or a sign that you need to get back on your stuff and get back focused and focus on the stuff that got you to the point that you are now, or you're gonna keep on doing the stuff that you're doing. So so I listened and, got back in the gym, got back training, and, got back to the fundamental things that, got me to where I'm in now as a unified champion. That's just staying focused, staying dedicated, listening to my parents, and being around my kids and being around people who, truly love me and truly care for me.
Yeah, it's a great lesson. Do you think you got somewhat complacent once you became the unified champ? I think a lot of people, for example, when Keith Thurman became the unified champ, a lot of people say, I don't see the hunger there anymore. You kind of see maybe the road that he kind of went down? Because once you become unified, you're the man, so to speak, at the top.
No, not really, because me, I wanted to fight it. I still wanted to fight everybody. Like, it didn't matter. I think I got kind of complacent in how I always train hard. Like, I always train hard. I always, was focused once training camp arrived, but outside of training camp, I wasn't, as focused as I should have been, or I get too high up in weight, and then the training camp come around, I gotta run 2 times a day and always training in a sauna suit and working on a sauna suit, or I didn't want to fight around this time because, this time is cold time. It might be winter time. It's not going to make me lose weight as far as running in the summertime or, around July or August and things like that. So, for me, it was just staying focused outside the gym, outside the training camp and outside when I don't have fights and on a downtime, just staying focused, staying hungry, and, making sure I'm more disciplined now. And as far as my regimen and what I eat and things like that. So, a lot of young guys don't realize that, you got that hunger when you're young, you want to make this, you want to make a lot of money, you want to win the titles and you want to do stuff like that. And then once you get to that point, you kind of veer off a little bit and, something might, tell you to, get back on the road, you tripping. But that's why Floyd's so great. And that's why Michael Jordan's so great. And that's why, Kobe Bryant's so great because it's that focus.
Yeah,
that determination.
Yeah, that discipline. There was a lot of people who would talk to me and say, I love Errol Spence as a fighter, as a person, but I see him around Adrian Broner. I see him around Gervonta Davis. And I always say, hey, look, Tank is a great young man, sometimes misunderstood, but he's had his missteps outside the ring. And obviously, there's a litany of things you can go on with Adrian. Yeah. But at the core, a nice guy. But they were like, why is he around those guys? It's going to lead him down a wrong path. I'm sure you've heard that too. How do you, now that you've made that change, is there things that you talk to them about? Hey, look, maybe we need to change about some of the things that we do outside of the ring.
Oh, I mean, it's something that me and Adrian talk about a lot. It's something me and Adrian talk about a lot. But it's basically, I'm a grown man, and I can hang around. Anybody want to hang around. I just gotta, it's on me. I take care of myself, and I gotta be focused on myself and make sure, I don't do the wrong things, or I don't do this, I don't do that, because it could mess me up in the long run, or when I go to training camp and stuff like that. So, as far as anybody else, of course they're my friends. I can tell them, oh, we need to do this, or you need to do that, or you need to get back training, or you need to get more focused and things like that. I can tell them that, but it's more of a personal thing that you just got to do. And as for me, I got into that mode where, I wasn't fighting for like 7 or 8 months, and I take a lot of time off. And then when you got money, you're not doing nothing, and you don't have people, telling you the right things. You kind of veer off a little bit and get unfocused. But I'm happy I got that wake up call. I'm mad it had to happen like that. But as far as I feel great. I feel 100%. I feel good. I feel focused. I feel like it was a wake up call because I could have easily lost my life. I feel like everything happened for a reason. I could easily lost my life, and I didn't, especially with something like that. And flipping out the car and falling and getting thrown from the car and landing 80 feet away from the car, and me versus the concrete in my face and things like that. And I'm here, and I'm fine, and people can still see me, and I'm still walking, I'm still running down the street and things like that. So, it's just a wake-up call for me, and just allow me to, to put a lot of things in perspective, and, and learn a lot of things, and take accountability for my actions and for my mistakes, and not put on anybody else but myself, and just hold myself accountable. No, okay, you did this and you did that, and that led you to this. So what you gonna do different now? Or you gonna get down the same path?
Wow. We'll wrap it up just about on this topic with this, because sometimes when you have a life-changing event that happens to you, it changes you as a person. You've talked about as a fighter, you're going to be more disciplined and things of that nature. I know when I got diagnosed with cancer, I saw life a whole lot differently. For the people, even the people who look up to you, talk to me about how this changed you on the inside as a person going forward, where people may hear this and say, hey, look, Errol was at the top. All of a sudden he had this life-changing event, and yet, you know, he's come back from this and still can be back there at the top. What can you tell them about how this has changed you as a person?
For the most part, it's, you know, it's hard not to judge people, because, you know, a lot of people, you know, go through things, or, you know, stuff may happen to people and you not see it, but, you know, it's inside them, and, you know, you can't judge somebody from the outside, you're not in the inside yet. So, and it's hard not to judge everybody, and even if somebody makes a mistake, you know, it is their fault, but, you know, you don't know what they're going through, especially mentally and stuff like that. And that's what me and Adrian talk about a lot of times too. Like, you know, a lot of people don't know Adrian goes through a lot of stuff, and, you know, a lot of stuff mentally and stuff like that. And me and him, we have talks and long talks about, you know, what we going through, and just, you know, it's when everybody's counting on you, especially family, friends, and, you know, and everybody counting on you because you the breadwinner, and, you know, you that guy, and everybody's looking for something, and you don't know who your real friends are, and, you know, people coming up out the blue, and, I mean, having women problems and women coming out of nowhere, and, you know, beautiful women, you know, one's a piece of your time, and you know how to tell them nah and stuff like that, you know. It can definitely play a part. And that's what a lot of things, that's why I would talk to like kids. I don't think, that's why I respected what was his name? Steven Jackson so much. When he came, he was talking about just laying down with anybody and getting anybody pregnant and stuff like that, because I feel like a lot of athletes don't get that talk. They talk, you know, you tell them everything about, you know, the game and stuff like that, but they don't get to talk about, you know, about how the fame, you know, can control you, and, you know, how, you know, women come out of anywhere, and, you know, a lot of women want a piece of your time, and
Yeah.
how women can deter you from, you know, your ultimate goals and your plans and stuff like that. So, you know, that's why I would talk to, you know, a lot of athletes about, you know, about women and fame. And, you know, I think Jay-Z had this quote, you know, in one of his raps, he said, when you can look in the mirror and say, there I am, and you not perceive what you become. You know, I mean, for me, that was deep, because, you know, he's saying, like, you can look in the mirror and not even notice yourself and not see what you really become.
Yeah.
You know, so that was, and, you know, fame kind of took you off to a different route. So, you know, for me, I would talk to a lot of athletes about fame and about, you know, stuff outside of the sport that they're in. You know, stuff that can deter them, like friends, and, you know, a lot of hang-ons, and a lot of people that come from the outside, you know, trying to get a piece of you. You know, they're like leeches. They bring nothing to the table, but they're trying to suck everything out of you.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. Now that you're on the comeback and training and things of that nature, was there any fear, well, let's say when you went to sleep at night, in the very back of your mind, EJ, where you said, man, I may not ever be the same again. I may not be the truth, that dog that people used to see. Did that ever creep into your mind?
When I was when I was hurting, it creeped into my mind. Was like the first, I could say like November, December. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm better box again. I'm hurting like bad. And then when like January came around, because I was already running like December, I was already running a little bit, but my hip was still hurting. But I was still running. And then around January, February, and then like right now, I have no pain at all. And that's when I really felt good. I was like, oh yeah, I'm coming back. I'm coming back guns blazing too. Like a lot of people writing me out right now. I want them to keep writing me out. I want them to keep saying I'm fat, and, you know, I look out of shape. I look overweight and things like that. Like right now, I look small right now. Like I'm getting there. And I just want everybody to keep doubting me. It just fuel to the fire. So, but at one point I did think I wasn't gonna come back when I was like super in pain. I was like, I don't think I'll come back. I was like, I might take Brian Custer broadcasting job.
You would take my job. That's messed up. And I thought we were cool. So where would you say right now from a health, 90%, 80%, 100%? Where are you right now?
Well, right now I think I'm 100% back.
100%.
Yeah, I think I'm 100% back. I haven't sparred yet. That's something I haven't do because I got 2 posts in my mouth now, and they already healed up. I'm about to get a 3rd post in my mouth, and then after all that healed up, then I'll be able to spar. But
so when do you think that would happen? When do you think you'll actually take some leather and start getting back in the ring sparring? How many, is that months? Is that weeks?
Probably September, August, September.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Now, so if that's the case, then realistically, when you come back, and I know you've said it, hey, look, I want the big fights as soon as I come back. But realistically, don't you need a tune-up just to see where you are before you jump into that deep water again?
I don't need it. I don't need a team wrong. I don't need no tune-up, nothing. I'm a shark, so put me in the deep water where I belong. That's where I belong. Don't put me nowhere in the pool. Put me in my natural habitat.
Okay. That's why I love you. That's why I love you as a person. Your Dennis Ugas is one guy who's already come out and said, why doesn't Errol Spence ever say my name? Or why doesn't any of the top guys say my name? Your Dennis Ugas, what would you think about him as an opponent?
Ugas is a good fighter. He's a very good fighter. I think he's a guy that that's always extremely focused. He got that the Cuban training the Cuban training factor where he's always training, always focused. Look like he's always in shape, but as far as big name, he's not a big name. I think that's the only knock to him. Great fighter, but not a big name. I mean, he's not Danny Garcia. He's not Pacquiao, he's not Terence Crawford. That's only knock to him. I mean, once he get there, once he gets behind me, then I'll turn around and we'll fight. But, right now, he's just not a guy that, I'm just going to be calling out the fight. Because, I mean, hardcore boxing people know him, but outside of that, nobody know who he is.
One of the things that they've talked about is when boxing comes back is obviously fighting with no fans. What about Errol Spence Jr.? Could you see yourself fighting in a venue with no fans at all?
I could do that. Yeah, I could do that for sure. I mean, we spar with with no fans. I mean, I wouldn't want to. I definitely wouldn't want to. I would definitely want fans there. It definitely is crowd pleasing, but I mean, no fans, I can do that. I can definitely do it. Yeah. I would. I mean, I definitely mind it, but if push comes to shove, I can fight without any fans.
Are you now just a pay-per-view fighter, or will we see Errol Spence Jr. on network television? Will we see you on premium cable like Showtime Championship Boxing in the main event again?
Well, I think my next fight will be pay-per-view again, but I want to fight on Fox because, I mean, Fox give more viewers. I want to get about 6 million views on Fox or something, but, I want everybody to see me fight. When you fight on pay-per-view, it limits you, but, it is more money. But, I want to fight on Fox where everybody gonna see me fight.
What do you think, and you've talked about the big names coming back, but what's the more realistic fight when if Errol Spence is coming back, let's say October, November, what's the more realistic fight? Errol Spence Jr. versus who?
The more realistic probably be Danny Garcia or Pacquiao. Just because I was supposed to fight before my accident, I was already lined up to fight Danny Garcia in January. Nobody got into my accident, then he fought Rick Catch. So that's the more realistic goal, because I'm not taking a tune-up. I already told Al I don't want to tune up at all. I feel like, that's not where I belong. I understand the whole, you want to get your feet wet and stuff like that, but, I can get my feet wet with the top guys.
Terence Crawford, everybody in the world wants to see you and Terence Crawford fight. When do you see that fight happening? Is that something more 2021?
Definitely. That's definitely 2021. That's not going to be my next fight. It's definitely 2021. I don't see it going past 2021. Now, my realistic goals would be Danny Garcia, Pacquiao, then Terence Crawford, or Pacquiao and then Terence Crawford. So, I mean, that's my goal. I don't want to leave, 147 without fighting Terence Crawford.
What are and you've said this, we've seen the video of you two in the venue together and talk. You've even said that you guys have even talked on the phone about fighting and saying, hey, look, we can make it happen. Don't worry about it. Take me inside. What was that conversation like? Was it pleasant? Was it just, do you guys know each other fairly well? What was that conversation like?
No, we don't know each other fairly well. It's just, I feel like it's just two real dudes just talking to each other. He he wants to fight. I wants to fight. I think, it will happen. It's just a matter of time. I think, I think, we want to fight, but, with Bob Earl and, Al Heyman and, everybody else, I call them the guys in the suits. But the guys in the suits really, they want to make sense money-wise. They want to make sure everybody get their slice, everybody get their fair share. So they want to make sure that's right before the fight happens. I think that's the same thing before the Pacquiao. They didn't fight. The money was so big, they had to fight. So, I mean, everybody want to make sure the money's right and everybody get their fair slice, and then, the fight will happen. So, now it'll definitely happen. I mean, it'll definitely happen. It's just a matter of when.
You talked about how you've looked on the net and you've seen what people have been saying. Do you get a laugh when people talk about you and Terence Crawford and Errol doesn't want that work? Errol, I think, is avoiding him. Do you get a chuckle when you see that type of stuff that's on the net when people compare you to?
A little bit. I get it sometimes. Sometimes it kind of. I get agitated. It just depends on what move I'm in. Sometimes I'll be like, man, what is this dude talking about? Or somebody just be talking crazy or reckless. I don't watch it at all. But if somebody having having a fair, a fair go at me and a fair go at Terence, I may watch it. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
They've been talking in the sport of boxing that the biggest fight right now in the sport would be Fury taking on Joshua. So you're in that welterweight division, though, that is really loaded. What would be the equivalent of Fury versus Joshua in the welterweight division?
Man, I would say that would have to be probably me and Pacquiao fighting in Saudi Arabia or fighting in the Philippines or something. Because I mean, with Fury and Joshua fighting in the UK, that'd be crazy. That'd be Wembley is where they hold like 80K, right?
Oh, it's 90,000. Yes.
Oh, yes, they'll sell that place out. 90K easy for that fight. It'll be a huge fight. Just the talking that Fury does and, how he hypes up the fight and stuff like that. That'd be a huge fight. But Fury got to give my boy Deontay his run back, man. He got to run that back one more time before he move on and try to fight Joshua. But that'd be a huge fight, him and Joshua. That'd do 90K easy.
Did you take a pause when Deontay suffered that loss to Fury, because Fury kind of dominated the second fight? Were you as shocked as many of us were, just how convincingly Tyson Fury won the second fight?
Yeah, I was shocked. I'm not gonna lie, I was shocked. Like just how he controlled the action, like from the start to when the fight was over. And I think you gotta credit that more to what's his trainer name? Sugar.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, out of the Crunk Gym,
Yeah, the Crunk Gym.
Emmanuel Stewart's nephew,
Yeah, Sugar Hill.
Sugar Hill did a great job making him come forward.
Yeah, making him come forward, making him use a jab, making him stay long, and I feel like he changed him up a lot. He was a little more aggressive too, and you gotta give credit to the coach, and he gave him kind of that Crunk style. And you got to credit him a lot. But I can see Deontay being. I hope he's more focused. I hope he's training, and he hasn't been talking much, and hasn't been coming out. So I hope his head's on straight, and he's ready to get his title back. I'm being rooted for him. He's always been supporting me through my career and stuff like this. So. It's only just to support him, and he's a hometown guy. He's an American kid, so I'm always gonna root for my countryman, just like
Absolutely.
how they root for their guy from the UK. That's why I don't like either. I don't like how different American guys root for the guy Tyson Fury, and he's from the UK, when all the UK guys going for their guy. All the boxers going for Tyson Fury, and all the fans are going for Tyson Fury. And then we got people here that's, that got split support, and a lot of Americans are going for, Tyson Fury. And I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And considering both of you guys former Olympians, and you're right, you go overseas. And you saw that when you fought Kell Brook. I mean, they are behind their fighter through thick.
Behind the guy.
Thick and thin.
When I fought Kell Brook, like the whole week, it was cool. It was like, hey, want to take pictures. The day of the fight, man, I was getting mean mugged. Looked at dirty. Man, I thought I had something on my face or something, man, the way they're looking at me. So, that's how it is over there. Like, their hometown guy, they're going to root for the guy that they're going to, back their guy 100%. And with us, we don't root for our guy 100% like that.
Who is Errol Spence's favorite fighter right now? Who is the guy fighting right now where you turn on TV, you say, "Oh, I got to turn it on. My guy's about to step into the ring," because you just enjoy watching that person fight?
Right now, I would say I love some Chocolito.
Really?
Yeah, like Roman Gonzalez, Chocolito. Yeah, he a bad dude, he a bad dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love some of him. Jamal and Jamel Charlo. He might be kind of crazy. They're my dudes, man. I love their style, man.
You're repping Texas, I see. You keep it in Texas. You keep it in Texas with the Charlos. What was your toughest fight? What was the last fight where you were in there and you sat maybe in between the round and you said, "Boy, I got to bring my lunch pail with this guy"?
Probably the Kell Brook fight. Because the Kell Brook fight, I mean, that was my longest layoff. It was like 8-9 months. And, just going over there and eating different food and, the training camp and stuff like that. I went over like 2 weeks before and just training at American Gym and just, the food I was eating and, where I was running at and stuff like that. I wasn't really, I was kind of used to it anyway because like my international fights as an amateur and stuff like that, but they helped me out a lot. But, I would have rather much been home and fighting at home. But, it was a big experience, especially, when I got there and, fighting in front of 30 plus of your rival fans and, they booing you and throwing chocolate stuff at you when you're coming out and things like that. It was a lot of difference, and I think it was great to get over. Once I got over it, I was like, man. And then me watching it on YouTube and watching it on TV, I'm like, man, I fought in front of 30,000 my fans. I mean, not my fans, but his fans, and beat him and shut them all up. And then, and the crazy part about it, once I beat him, and I looked into the crowd, man, everybody was gone. Yeah, everybody was gone. There was nobody in the crowd. I'm like, where the hell everybody at? Everybody was gone, man. Like, it just cleared out. But it was crazy.
You beat their champion. They're like, there's nothing for us to see. we getting up out of here. And I tell you what, and I love this because you've given me the opportunity a couple of times to see your camp. And I know before, I mean, obviously that was when you first became a champion, a world champion. And there were a number of people who doubted you because Kell Brook was such a big, strong welterweight at the top at that point. And I had gone to your camp and I'm sitting there watching you spar heavyweights for like 10 rounds. And I was telling everybody, Errol Spence is going to beat this guy, man. And they were looking at me like, I'm like, Errol Spence, I just saw this guy spar heavyweights for 10, 12 rounds in a 100-degree gym. It was 95 degrees in Dallas. And inside that gym that you trained in, there was no air conditioning. It was like 112. I already knew that you were going to win that fight just from some of the training that you went through. So it was no surprise to me. I wanted to definitely throw that out. In light of that, what was your best performance as a fighter?
Oh, my best performance as a fighter. The Mikey Garcia was a good performance, but I mean, I feel like I would have stopped him if I would have took not training as seriously, but if I would have been as serious as out of camp as I was inside camp, because I mean it really bled into an inside camp because I was like 180 something, doing a whole little press tour and all this and that, and then even like the day of the weigh-ins, I had to lose like 3-4 pounds.
Wow.
And yeah, I was in a sauna suit, and then I was in the sauna suit. And I didn't sweat to probably like 30 minutes or an hour being in the sauna. And I'm in there just shadow boxing trying to lose the weight. And I lost the 2-3 pounds being there for like an hour and some change. And then made the weight and things like that. But, it was just hard losing the weight and, running with a sauna suit on and sitting in the tub, in the hot tub, with Avaline on, trying to sweat and trying to lose the weight, for the fight. So, I feel like it was a great performance, but I just didn't have the power to, to really, put it on like I wanted to.
Wow. This is what I love about the LSP, the Last Stand podcast. We get that inside information here. You get to drop 3-4 pounds on fight, basically the day before the fight for Mikey Garcia. That's interesting, man. What would you say is Errol Spence's biggest win?
My biggest win.
Thus far?
I would say the Kell Brook. The Kell Brook to me was my biggest win because, a lot of people doubted me. They thought it was too early for me to go overseas and fight a guy in his hometown who was, arguably the best, welterweight at that time. And to go over there and to beat him in his hometown, not only beat him, but stop him, was just huge for me mentally. And, mentally it was very huge for me just to, overcome that little mountain. Get to that top. So, that it was great for me mentally.
What fighter you think is the biggest threat to Errol Spence Jr. right now?
Right now, I feel like, let me see. What fighter is the biggest threat to me right now? I mean, I really don't feel like right now any fighter is a threat to me because, just how focused I've been and how I've been eating right and, drinking nothing but water. And I don't really drink Gatorade because it got too much sugar in it. So, just how I've been focused and, and hungry. And I got a good story too that I really never told anybody.
Come on, give it to it. That's what this podcast is all about, EJ.
It was my pro debut. And you know how all the Olympians go meet the president and shake his hand? Yeah, and basically everybody went. And it was in my training camp. So, It was in my training camp. And the president was Obama at that time. It was in my training camp and things like that, and everybody trying to get me to go. My dad, my coach, everybody like, yo, you need, like they really wanted me to go meet Obama, but I didn't want to break training camp, so I didn't go. I didn't go meet Obama to shake his hand, and everybody went like Marcus Brown got pictures, Shrug Boucher got pictures of meeting Obama and shaking his hand, but that's just at that time. That's how how hungry I was, to win and just stay dedicated. That I wasn't gonna break camp, to go meet the president. Who was Obama. I wasn't gonna break camp without to meet him. So yeah, that was. At this time now, like, damn, I should have broke him and met him. Especially in the time that we are politically now.
Yeah,
I should shake his hand at this time, like, man. But first black president, this and that. I mean, but at that time, it's just how dedicated and how hungry I was. I was like, man, this is my pro debut. I'm not about to miss 2 days, 1 day or nothing, to go meet anybody. I don't care who it is.
That is great. How long do you see yourself fighting at 147? How many more fights do you have in you at 147?
Really just, probably 3 fights. 3 fights. It could be 3, it could be 2. I really just want the big names. I just want, Pacquiao before he retire. Terence Crawford. And if I got to fight a Danny Garcia or anybody else, then I will. But really just the big names before I move up.
And when you move up, is it 154? Do you go to 160, 154?
154.
154. How long do you see yourself fighting?
I would say I want to start when I'm 34. Well, something funny because Al told me he was like, you gonna stop early, or he told me, or it won't be with him. So yeah, I could see 34. When a young guy start beating me up in the gym, I know it's time to hang it up. When I'm starting to get beat up by guys or my reflexes not how they should be, and guys that I'm used to beating up on or beating me up in the gym, I'm like, yeah, it's time to hang it up. So
okay, so for the record, that hasn't happened yet, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
When the young guys start beating me up in the gym and start doing what they want to do with me, I'm like, yeah, I'm done. You beating me up? Nah, I'm done.
Right. They start hitting you and looking over you, talking about man down. It's like, okay, I gotta get out of here, right?
Yeah, start rocking me. I'm like, yo, nah, it's not happening.
Well, on the podcast, we always let the people who support us and listen and watch send in questions. We got a lot of them for you, so we're gonna go right through them, and we'll start with this one we got from Facebook. A guy named KS says, will you indeed fight in 2020?
I would definitely fight in 2020. Hopefully, the corona issue would, be done, and, hopefully I'll be fighting around, October, November, or whenever the sports world open back up. So I've been training, focused, and keeping my weight down. So I'll be one of the first couple of guys that will jump out there when they open back up. So, hopefully I will be fighting in 2020. That's my goal, and that's my plan, to be fighting in 2020.
Dub De Niro from Facebook asks, Errol, no BS. What really happened when you sparred Floyd?
I don't know. It was good work. Nothing but good work, man. Nothing but good work.
Now, was it one of those things where you got beat up? Did you get taught a lesson, or did you walk out of there and say, yeah, I held my own?
Oh, I held my own, definitely. I definitely held my own. It was just, great work. Like, just sparring him and just, I really never imagined myself sparring for Mayweather. So once I sparred him, it really, for me, was just, learning. Just, I never been in a training camp too where, a guy like his caliber was training for a fight. So I was just, following him everywhere, just taking notes. I was like a sponge, soaking everything up. How he hit the bag, how long he hit the bag, how long he hit the mitts. What he do after training, when he goes to the gym, what he does, and things like that. So I was just watching everything that he do and just soak it in. So for me, it wasn't, I need to beat him up or I need to embarrass him. It was more, I need to learn everything that he's doing because, he's our Michael Jordan of boxing. So
yeah,
I never learned everything while I'm in here.
And how old were you when you got that sparring session?
I think I was like 21.
Okay, you're a young buck. You were a real young buck then.
Yeah, I was young. I mean, I think I only had like 3 or 4 fights. Like,
yeah,
I was a baby.
Now, was the punches hard or were they sharp? What were they like?
Oh, his punches is sharp. Like with him, his is super sharp, super sharp. But it was good work. I was 100% focused for sparring him. I was probably going to bed early. If I knew I had to spar him, I'm probably going to bed early. Like, I'm Floyd. Like I gotta put on for everybody. Who's looking at things like that. And, for it wasn't the one to just put on for them. It was just to impress him. And they're like, man, like this kid can fight.
Yeah,
I like him. He can go.
That's great. Wayne Bailey from Facebook asks, what do you think about when you're walking to the ring, and how do you decide what song you're coming out to?
Oh, with me, I usually find out my song. Well, before I started getting like performances and people come to walk me out like Yellow Beezy and Freddie and them, I used to, I didn't find out my song for probably the night of the fight or the morning of the fight. They'd be hollering me like, what song you want? And then I just ask my friends, and then they just going through, and they're like, hey, you should play this. So I usually ask my friends, and just ask them what song should I come out with. That was before I started getting like live performances and things like that. So now I just, if they're from my city and they're a rapper from my city, I'd rather just put them on and, and use them and get them some light and, using somebody outside the city who don't really care for it, don't need it.
And what are you thinking about as you make that ring walk?
Oh, what I'm thinking about, I'm really just, just telling myself to stay focused, and just making sure I get out the first round.
Can you recall the last fight where you were like nervous? Like, boy, I haven't felt these butterflies in a while. Can you remember the last fight you had that kind of feeling?
My pro debut, I was nervous. Like after that, I wouldn't like my first couple fights, I was probably nervous, but like now I don't get nervous at all. It's more of as soon as the ring walk, like I'll probably be more nervous, like sitting in the hotel room, watching TV, just waiting on, going to the arena and stuff like that. But once I'm in the arena, especially like the ring walk and me standing in the ring, I'm not nervous at all. I'm more focused, more ready at the task that's at hand.
Yeah, all right. Errol, we've come to the last segment of the show. We call it The Last Stand. I'm going to give you a series of questions, Errol Spence. You tell me the first thing, not the last, that comes to your mind. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Pound for pound, who is the best fighter in the world right now?
Canelo.
Who's the most overrated fighter right now?
Nobody popped up on that. nobody popped up on that. Nobody popped up on that.
Who's the fighter you dislike the most?
Keith Thurman.
Why is that?
He's just persona. I think it's persona. I don't know. He's just whack to me. He's whack. He was a whack individual. I don't know. Just somebody can just the way he talk and everything just come off all whack. I couldn't even be his friend. I couldn't be my friend on the outside. If we wasn't even boxers, I wouldn't be cool with him.
And so you don't ever see a Errol Spence Keith Thurman fight coming about?
I mean, I don't see it unless, I really don't see it. I mean, it could happen, but I don't see it. It's not something I'm just looking for. I mean, I was looking for that, for like 4 years straight. And once that didn't happen, I was like, he kept writing me off and kept, basically saying I got to do something. I got to do this. I got to do that. Or I'm not this, I'm not that. So I was like, whatever.
Yeah. Who is on the Errol Spence Jr.'s Mount Rushmore of all-time great boxers? There's the four presidents up there in Mount Rushmore. Who's your Mount Rushmore of all-time great boxers?
Ray Robinson, Ray Leonard, Ali, of course. One more. Man, I put Floyd in there because my era. He's a go to my era. So not even before my era. So I gotta put Floyd on.
Those are some great ones you had there. I'm gonna say a name. You just tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Terence Crawford.
Skilled.
Danny Garcia.
Hard puncher.
There we go. Errol Spence Jr., my man, I surely appreciate you spending the time with me. It's great to see you. It's great to see that you're healthy again. And I can't wait till this pandemic is over so we can, embracing and like we used to. But it's great to see you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for having me on, too.
Absolutely. Folks, that's what we do here on the Last Stand podcast. Biggest names in sports like Errol Spence Jr., the unified champion. That's going to do it for the LSP. Again, we'll have another big guest for you. We'll see you next week.